Welcome to StudyIQ. Through the course of this video, we will be focusing on important current affairs that have transpired in the state of West Bengal, especially for the month August 2018. You can visit our website studyiq.com and know more about our West Bengal State Services Exams pendrive courses, which have been curated by Dr. Gaurav Garg. Starting on with the first pertinent news that you need to remember, the Asian Development Bank Board, that is the ADB board, they have approved a financing package. This financing package is worth $245 million, and this financial package will provide safe, sustainable and inclusive drinking water service to about 1.65 million people. Now, the three important districts where we are going to be having this financial package includes, of course, North 24 Parganas, and these are the three pertinent districts wherein the entire board, ADB board, is financing the package of $245 million. Now, one more thing that we need to remember over here is that the 1.65 million people in these three districts are all affected by arsenic, fluoride and salinity. Now, why does that happen? Because in West Bengal, more than 90% of the rural population, they are relying on groundwater. Now, because they are relying on groundwater, it becomes a home. West Bengal becomes a home to about 72% of India's population that is at risk from arsenic which is there in groundwater, and of course salinity, the salty water which is available. So 5% of the population is at risk from fluoride contamination as well. The total project is estimated to be around $349 million, for which ADB, that's our Asian Development Bank, they will provide a loan of over $240 million. So out of the $349 million which is required for this particular project to finance, to ensure that there's safe, sustainable and inclusive drinking water services provided to people in West Bengal, particularly the three districts. This is going to be the total cost, out of which ADB, the Asian Development Bank, will provide a loan, will grant a loan of $240 million. And of course, we need to remember that around a grant of $3 million will also be provided from Japan Fund for Poverty Reduction, that is financed by the government of Japan. The state government in West Bengal is trying to strengthen smart water management system also. This is something that you need to keep in mind, and the project will be completed in June 2024. This is something which is pertinent and important. Moving on to another important news, as we can see, in an effort to encourage more Indian travelers to visit Israel, the Embassy of Israel in India, they have opened up a Kolkata Israel Visa Application Center, as we can see over here. And this Kolkata Israel Visa Application Center is for West Bengal as well as northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, as we can all see. Now, we need to remember that visa applications in the jurisdiction under the, additionally, of course, visa applications in the jurisdiction under the New Delhi Center are also acceptable at the New Calcutta Center. Now, the visa application categories are, of course, B1, that is for employment, B2 for business, tourism, meeting or conference, as well as A2 visas for students. All of them are going to be applicable over here in the Calcutta Israel Visa Application Center. Moving on to another important news that has transpired in the state of West Bengal. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has announced that there would not be any ceiling, there will not be any slab, any ceiling for a family's annual income earnings to be a beneficiary under the Kanya Shri scheme. Now, what is the Kanya Shri scheme that you need to remember? Kanya Shri is a conditional cash transfer scheme that is aiming at improving the status as well as the well-being of the girl child by ensuring that they are incentivizing schooling of teenage girls. And therefore, ultimately, what we see as a result, that there is a delay of marriage to about 18 years for a majority of girls. It of course received, the Kanya Shri scheme received the United Nations Public Service Award as well, and currently girls who belong to families with annual family income of not more than 1.2 lakh, they were entitled to get the benefits. Currently it was the case, but as we said, that West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has announced that there will not be any ceiling for a family's annual income to become a beneficiary under the Kanya Kanyashri scheme. We need to remember that the state government, West Bengal government, will also be coming up with a Kanyashri University for girls to encourage that more number of girls, they go and take higher education in universities as well. Now, moving on to another pertinent news, we need to remember how the State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Conclave, MSME Conclave 2018 was held. It was held at the Biswa Bangla Convention Center. So this conference was held at the Biswa Bangla Conference Center, Calcutta, from 20th to 21st of August 2018. Now, 5 MOUs, 5 Memorandum of Understanding, they were signed between, of course, the West Bengal State Export Promotion Society and Engineering Export Promotion Council, as we can see, Calcutta Gems, Jewelry, Welfare Association. So all these were there. So there were total 5 MOUs that were signed. We need to remember that the Bengal government signed MOU with the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange for migration of MSMEs to the IPO level. This is important. And around 9,000 items were displayed in 70 stalls in the exhibition of handicraft goods that were organized during the conclave. And of course, there were overseas orders worth 113 crores that were received in only the span of one single day. We need to remember that Dr. Amit Mitra is the state MSME, that's Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises and Textile Minister. So this is also important. Moving on to another pertinent news, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, she has launched the website, as we can see over here. This website, the e-governance portal of Utkarsh Bangla. This is a flagship scheme for skill development in Bengal. This is flagship scheme for skill development in the state of Bengal. The annual target of the scheme is to train 6 lakh youth. So the target is to train 6 lakh youth annually. This portal will enable the state government to manage a lot of needs that are there in the skilling ecosystem. Many people think that the youth is not trained, starting from, of course, the candidates registration to the empanelment of training, to the training centers that will be there, to the online biometric attendance system. Now, we also need to remember that it will also assist in maintaining transparency, and of course the unemployed youth will also be reached out in every corner of the state. We also need to remember that it will be a one-stop shop for industries where companies can come, find, recruit skilled manpower. So therefore, we need to remember that how the e-governance portal of Utkarsh Bangla, this is a flagship scheme for skill development in the state of West Bengal. Moving on, the state government in West Bengal has set up a 27-member committee to celebrate the birth bicentenary of one of Bengal's icon, the social reformer and educationist Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidya Sagar, as we can see over here. So this is critical and crucial. The State Education Minister Partha Chatterjee. So the state's Education Minister Partha Chatterjee, he will be the president of the body. And of course, Ishwar Chandra Vidya Sagar, he was born on 26 September 1820 and 20 till about 29th July 1891. Had played a very critical role in spreading education, especially among children. As we can see over here, he had written various famous works, as we can see over here. And also for those pursuing Sanskrit, he wrote the Upramanika. He was given the title of Vidya Sagar from the Sanskrit College in Calcutta because of his excellent knowledge of Sanskrit and philosophy. So this is also pertinent news. To keep a track of the fishing trawlers in order to prevent disasters as well as to help them if they're faced with a disaster, the Bengal government has decided to fit all trawlers with a GPS devices. So all the trawlers are like, the fishing boat for trawling, for figuring out the fishes. So all the fishing trawlers are going to be all the trawlers will get the GPS devices installed. A controlling station will be built, and this controlling station will be built in Kakdweep, would be in touch with all the trawlers. The wireless sets that current trawlers have a maximum range of 20 kilometers, whereas this GPS device will have a range of 100 kilometers. So that's an increase of 80 kilometers that we have been able to see. Now, moving on to some miscellaneous news that transpired in the month of August, the state government and railways, they have decided to form a joint action committee to find ways to prevent elephants from being hit by speeding trains. Of course, in a bid to further increase the income of farmers, the state government has decided to provide 2 rice planting machines which are going to be free of cost. Bengal government has also decided to allocate a total amount of 40 crores for the libraries in all the state government and state government aided schools. Of course, primary and madhyatmik and higher secondary level schools will also be included under this project, which is going to be which will ensure that there's proper library infrastructure provided to all educational institutions. Moving on, the state agriculture department in West Bengal, they decided to plant biksa trees, as we can see over here in the image, known as the latkan. So this is also famously called as latkan in Bengali, on a large scale in its farms for extracting dye from its seeds in order to make natural food coloring. Now this tree, we need to remember, is also known as lipstick tree. So biksa trees, they are also famously called as the lipstick trees because the seeds of these trees are used to make lipstick and body paint in certain parts of Central and South America where it originated. The yellow-orange extract also provides a subtle flavor and of course aroma to the food that's there. Now, moving on, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, she has unveiled a new IT policy to make the state one of the leading states in the country in the sector, in the IT sector. So, Mamata Banerjee is having the vision to make West Bengal one of the leading states in the IT sector. The new policy will be focused on 3D printing, big data analytics, animation, gaming, cybersecurity, Internet of Things, robotics, drones, fintech, artificial intelligence, AI, Industry 4.0, quantum computing and others. It has also stressed on a robust physical infrastructure that is referring to the third largest road network of the country that includes 4,000 kilometers of railway tracks and second largest metro rail network. We need to remember here another important thing, that Chief Minister will also lay the foundation stone for an IT park in Rajarat, which the West Bengal government plans to build in lines of the Silicon Valley in US. The project, of course, is famously called, this we need to remember, that the project is famously called as the Silicon Valley Asia. This project is famously called as Silicon Valley Asia, that will be set up on 100 acres and it aims at creating infrastructure for the technology companies. Moving on to a very sad and unfortunate news, as we can see, Somnath Chatterjee, former Lok Sabha Speaker and veteran communist leader in the image there. Somnath Chatterjee, he passed away. He was a 10-time Lok Sabha MP. Chatterjee was a central committee member of the CPIM, which he had joined in 1968. He was a Speaker of Lok Sabha from 2004 to 2009 during the UPA first tenure. He was, of course, the first and last communist leader to be elected as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. And he was given the title in 1996 as the Outstanding Parliamentarian Award. Moving on, the Airport Authority of India has allocated space at Ahmedabad, Udaipur and Kolkata. Kolkata is also one of the places, one of the cities where Airport Authority of India, they've allocated the space to Kolkata Airport for opening Tribes of India outlets. The presence of Tribes of India outlets at these airports will not only be a good opportunity to market the tribal products, but it will also help to promote the Tribes India as a brand for the target consumers. We need to remember here that the United Nations has designated August 9, according to the United Nations, they've designated August 9 as International Day of the World's Indigenous People. This is also important. Now, moving on, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, she felicitated and gave away police medal for commendable service on Independence day, contingents from the police personnel in uniform, school students, cultural as well as sports groups, tabloids from various departments were there on themes like Safe Drive, Safe Life, Kanyashri, Shubhashri, Roposhri, Sabuj Sathi. So all these, as we can see over here, and this is a list of recipients who received the police medal that you can probably take a look. This is also going to be pertinent. Moving on now to the next news, the New Delhi-based think tank Center for Science and Environment, CSE, they released its analysis titled The Urban Commute in Calcutta on pollution in urban commute. So 14 cities in India, they were analyzed, including of course the 6 mega cities and 8 metropolises, on how they fare when it comes to pollution as well as energy consumption from urban commuting. Bhopal of course tops for lowest overall emissions and energy use from urban commute, and Delhi was ranked last, 14th. Calcutta tops the per travel trip emissions and energy consumptions. So that is something that we can remember. In terms of investments that have taken place in the state of West Bengal, especially in the month of August 2018, Exide Industry, so Exide Industry, which is aspiring to supply batteries for bullet trains, they will be providing batteries for bullet trains. They will invest 550 crores for setting up a recycling battery plant and expanding its existing facility in the state to manufacture nickel and cadmium batteries. And Reliance Jio will invest 1,000 crores, so 1,000 crores to set up its data center in West Bengal's capital city, Kolkata. The Indian Oil Corporation Limited, they will invest a total of around 11,900 crore in the Haldia refinery and pipeline infrastructure in West Bengal. That is something that we need to remember. The Haldia refinery's capacity will be increased from 7.5 MMTPA to 8 MMTPA, and it will undertake a transition to BSVI compliant fuel by April 2020. And of course, Infosys, so Indian Information Technology Company, Infosys, they would open a software development center in West Bengal with an investment of about 100 crores. So these are important investments that we need to remember in the state of West Bengal. Moving on, of course, with a stunning score of 148, brilliant Calcutta techie Amit, as we can see over here. So Amit Sahai was ranked as number 1 on the IQ World Test, as we can see over here, IQ World Test. We need to remember that Amit Sahai is also the man behind a 2015 documentary film that talks about the lives of magicians in the country. The documentary that he had created was Fading Magic, the story of Calcutta's magicians. Fading Magic was a documentary that was produced by Amit. The film, of course, received several international awards, especially in Los Angeles, Jakarta, Ukraine, Rome, West Indies. It has gained international acclaim as well, with, of course, 7 international awards. We need to remember that IQ World Test LLC, which recorded the results, is an IQ test development company that is based in United States that provides services to many recruiting and HR companies and individuals. Moving on now, Madhur hubs to be set up in the districts that we can see as Purba, Paschim, Midnapur. Now we need to remember that Madhur is a type of floor mat, as we can see, which is made by weaving together the dried stems of Madhur plants found extensively in 2 districts with the help of course, cotton or jute threads. The hubs will house training centers for craftspeople to learn modern techniques and designs, and training will of course be given to create mats for international market. Here we need to remember that how the West Bengal Khadi and Village Industries Board, the West Bengal Khadi and Village Industry Board, has published Madhur Barta, a book containing information about craft and success stories of Madhur makers. Of course, the items that recently got the GI tag are also mentioned. So this is something that we need to keep in mind. Former Bengal cricket captain Gopal Bose, as we can see over over here in the image. So he was former cricket captain Gopal Bose. He died after suffering a cardiac arrest. He was the first cricketer from Bengal to play an ODI against England in the year 1974, which was incidentally the second ODI that India ever played. He was, of course, bestowed with a Lifetime Achievement Award by Cricket Association of Bengal, He was also appointed as a manager for the Virat Kohli-led India under-19 side during 2008 under-19 World Cup. Moving on, the Bengal government is planning to add 2000 megawatt of power over the next 5 years and is also planning to incorporate the latest technologies to reduce distribution and transmission losses. The distribution and transmission losses that take place. Now, these decisions were announced by the state power minister at the 9th Energy Conclave that was organized by the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. The 2000 megawatt will, of course, be a mix of both thermal. This will be a mix of thermal as well as hydro and of course solar and other alternative sources. Now, part of the 2000 megawatt will be 300 megawatts. So 2000 out of the 2000, 300 megawatt will be for solar plant. Now, we need to remember to disseminate, to spread detailed information about various tourist spots across West Bengal. The State Tourism Department is all set to roll out a project that is Bengal Tourism on Wheels. Now, the aim is to arouse the interest of the people in exploring the various tourist destinations that are there in West Bengal. Vehicles, of course, will be decked up with pictures of tourist destinations, will reach every doorstep to provide information about both the explored and unexplored tourist spots. Now, this vehicle will be fitted with LED screens on which video presentations will be made by the department that will highlight various tourist spots that will be aired. We need to remember how West Bengal Tourism Minister is Gautam Deb over here, especially with regards to this decision. Now, moving on to an important miscellaneous news, Mamata Banerjee, she's published a poem on surveillance culture, Unki Online, and another poem under the identity of NRC issue. And of course, a grand permanent floor market with facilities is going to be set up in Thakur Nagar in the district of North 24 Parganas. Here, all sellers would be accommodated under one roof, and there could also be cold storage so that flowers can be kept fresh for a longer duration of time. Moving on, the state government of West Bengal celebrated Sanskrit Eid Bus on the occasion of Raksha Bandhan, that was on 26th of August last year in 2018, to spread the message of communal harmony. They wanted to spread the message of communal harmony. The state's youth services and sports department hosting the host for the program. We need to remember how in 1905 Rabindranath Tagore had observed Raksha Bandhan as a mark of unity between Hindus and Muslims when the Britishers had decided to divide Bengal. So that is also something that we need to remember. Moving on to a miscellaneous news. To draw, of course, adventure-loving tourists both from inside as well as outside Bengal. In other countries, the State Tourism Department is sanctioning 89 more trekking routes to North Bengal. And of course, the state government has decided to build a bird museum at the village, as we can see in Purbasthali in the district of Purba Badman. Here we need to remember this is famous for migratory birds, and Purbasthali is the birthplace of eminent people like, of course, Akshay Datta, poet Satyendranath Datta, and discoverer of medicine for Kala Asar, Upendranath Brahmachari. Hence, of course, a museum will also contain many details about their lives as well. So this is important. Very, very important news. Newtown has been recognized as Bengal's first green city. This is Bengal's first green city. The certification comes from the Indian Green Building Council, which is under the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII. IGBC, that's the Indian Green Building Council, is one of the organization whose green building certification is accepted by state governments for awarding additional floor area ratio. Additional floor area ratio is used. So this is also something that we need to keep in mind. Of course, the state government in West Bengal is setting up a tourist hub at the ever popular destination of Tiger Hill in Darjeeling. So this is something that we need to remember. And the Bengal government is planning to build the state's first geriatric hospital. Geriatric, that is hospital for senior citizen, geriatric hospital in Salt Lake. Now this will be a prominent part of the government's plan to provide a comprehensive care, especially when we are talking about the elderly, including of course understanding their medical backgrounds and offering customized care. The health department will be the nodal agency to carry out this particular project. Here we need to remember that the state government, especially because we are talking about the elderly here, the state government in West Bengal is also constructing a housing complex for senior citizen, which is called Snehodaya in Newtown, which is at the outskirts of Calcutta. Moving on, of course, Bengal's State Agriculture Marketing Department has decided to build a Sufal Bangla Mall in Rajarat, close to the IT hub of Salt Lake, to sell crops grown using organic fertilizers. So Rajarat, that is where we need to remember about Sufal Bangla Mall in Rajarat. Moving on, of course, to an important sports news. Swapna Barman, hailing from Jalpaiguri district in West Bengal, she became the first Indian female HEP athlete to win a gold in Asiad event. And of course we had Pranab Bardhan. Here we see Swapna Barman, but we also had Pranab Bardhan and of course S. Sarkar, who won gold in men's pair events of bridge at Asian Games held in Jakarta. So this is also something that we need to keep in mind and remember. Here we've looked at the important developments that have transpired in the state of West Bengal, especially for the month of August 2018. If in case there are any doubts that you have vis-a-vis the news that has been discussed in this video, you can mention that in the comments section. You can connect with me on Instagram by the name of Nirja Raheja.